What's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody had a green week already. I know today's Thursday, and we're already 4 days into the week, and then we're heading into some ODTs tomorrow, right? So, hopefully, everyone had the opportunity to grab some of those swing trades that we talked about in the previous stream for the weekly watch list. And I'm just going to point a couple of them out for you guys just so you can see the results of some of the contracts and tickers that you could have potentially played and the amount of profits that you could have made. So remember, a lot of this is educational post for you guys to understand versus trying to go and take a signal from other places, right? The biggest thing is understanding a play, understanding a swing trade, a day trade is probably the most important piece of the puzzle when it comes to your trading journey, and the most important one that a lot of people fail to capture. So again, the whole goal is to make these YouTube videos so you guys can actually become self-sufficient and continue to become self-sufficient and execute those trades without having somebody to hold your hand, without somebody having to tell you when to take profits or when to enter and all these things, right? If anybody were to go and just look at those YouTube videos, previous videos, you can legit just go and take some notes and understand supply and demand. And then you can just become a self-sufficient trader. But again, all the things that are visually are happening here. And the only person that you are fighting against and the only obstacle you have is yourself. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to go through a couple of these and then we're going to talk about how to build into a position today. Building into a position when it comes to like buying the bottoms, buying the tops, ranges and all this stuff. So we're going to get to it. But anyways, we're going to go through a few and then I'm going to show you the results. So Apple was put on the watch list right here. Okay, we were right here on Sunday. I said target 1, target 2. We're at target 2 already. So this could have definitely given you a nice opportunity to day trade the crap out of Apple from Monday and Tuesday, even Wednesday. And then today again, you took in some day trades on Apple. So this is the results. This was the Sunday. This was the buy the dip level right here. As you can see, this blue line, this was the buy the dip. And then take a long target 1, target 2. So could have made a lot of money on this one had you bought at 144. This thing up is at 149, close to hitting that 150. Cat was the other one. Buy the dip. Buy the dip actually hit on Monday, and it ran all the way to target 1, and then continued Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to target 2. Okay, so enough opportunity to take profits on Cat as well. Let's go to Qualcomm. Qualcomm, again, did not quite hit the dip buy level here, but we definitely did break on Tuesday. So Tuesday was a nice opportunity call play. I actually took Qualcomm here for a nice pop. And then we just kind of went sideways. And again, today, I think this is more of the after hours move. But again, this could have gave you a nice call play on Tuesday. TSM, we talked about TSM as well. Here, it hit the perfect dip buy right on the gap down, and beautiful opportunity right here for you to take profits all the way into that target 1. We didn't get into any other targets for TSM just because I simply saw that the value here was only for that target 1, and I didn't put any target 2s. All I did is just set some alerts right here at this 124. Other than that, I got the break above right here over that 117 level. 117.50 in case we were to keep on driving. But had you held these same levels, you could have bought the dip today and you could have made some good money on the ride back up. So lots of opportunity that you could have taken on TSM as well. MU was the other one that we had huge alerts on. Unfortunately, this one did not really hit a target 1 nor a target 2. We definitely hit yesterday here with a huge pump. I think there was like some news that happened for MU, but definitely nice day trade here had you taken this position and the dip by around 66.50. But again, this was not talked about in the video, so it's more of more of a what if or a could have happened type of thing. But either way, I still have my target up here, target 1 and 2. I'm waiting for the reversal for MU, but we'll get to that reversal. Z was the other one that I wanted to see right up to target 1 and target 2. Unfortunately, this thing had some real bad catalysts that drove it all the way to the downside, and then clearly just took it off my my list just because I don't like trading puts. But definitely gave a lot of opportunity to trade puts on this day for the catalyst. You could have been able to buy the dip down here, but again, not a great setup. Not something that we talked about. We mainly talked about last on Sunday about the call side and reaching this 100 levels. So Z, nice bullish engulfing candle right here. So there's still a lot of demand right here at this 90 level. But again, not something that we really talked about. Roblox. Roblox is the other one that we did talk about. So Roblox again broke downtrend here, and then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today, I actually traded this thing today thanks to some of the members that ended up seeing this nice little pattern right here. Okay, that little pennant pattern, and then while that was happening, we took the trade here, and then there were some news catalysts that just drove it all the way up. I ended up selling up by 81, got in right here at the 79 and sold at 81, so decent profits, and then of course it just ran right. Regardless, the swing trade was technically right here on Monday. We didn't even come down. It just literally just kind of gapped down just a bit and just kept on running. So nice good trade here. Had you taken this trade from like 76 or even 77, could have led you all the way to 79. Nice $2 to $3 move depending if you got in or not. Had you still been holding, you could have been super green on this target 2. So target 1 was right here. Definitely hit target 1 and overpassed target 2, and then basically the 84 would be your target 3. So we did talk about Roblox being a nice swing trade had you taken that position, right? Walmart was the other one. Nice retail sector, doing great. Break of a downtrend. Here's your rally-based rally. Confirmed Monday, Tuesday just had a solid gap up. And then again, Wednesday kept riding up. And then today again, rode up at the open and gave up some gains towards the end. So technically, a lot of these plays already hit, right? Some of these plays that we talked about as well. PayPal was the other one. Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday, we just dropped. There was some heavy news on PayPal that was pretty hectic. So not sure why it was so bearish, but is it they're buying pins or something of that nature? Don't quote me, but go ahead and do some DD on it. But either way, PayPal did hit the first target. After that, it just dropped down, never hit the buy the dip level. So I think PayPal, I'm probably going to buy it around this 230, 240 level. I'm going to start looking to trade some calls, but I guess we'll leave that one on for the next week, correct? Facebook was the other one that we kind of just talked about price action. We didn't really talk about much, but definitely the entry point was right here around this 330. First target was around this 337, and you could have definitely easily taken some good profits on this. Unfortunately, definitely down on the pre-market due to Snap earnings being down. So who knows how this is going to be for earnings. But Chewy was the other one that I had. I think here on Monday, it just had a solid day into Tuesday, and that was it. Other than that, it just kind of stopped. But other than that, there wasn't really much. But either way, you guys could have still taken a lot of profits on a lot of these plays. And built into some of these positions that legit stress-free for the past like 4 days, and could have ended your week super freaking green, right? So, but if you took some, congratulations. If you didn't, I hope you're really learning and you're paying attention to what the weekly watch list is all about when it comes to supply and demand and how to chart some of this stuff. Go back and look at some of those videos and take some notes, guys, please. Don't let anybody hold your hand while you're in some of these trades. Don't let anybody come and tell you when and when not to take it. If you see the alert, if you see something playing out, if you see more green than red, by all means, it's calls. If it's breaking resistance, by all means, it's calls, right? If we're coming down into support and we're building a nice base, start to build a position, start to get into some call plays with your stop loss right below, right? There's again, it's all about supply and demand, and buying with buyers and selling with sellers. So that's all it really is, guys. So please go back and watch some of those YouTube videos. You're definitely going to learn a lot. All right. I know a lot of you guys got a ton of free time, so don't give me the excuse to say that you don't have free time. So yeah. So enough of that. Let's talk about a little bit more about building into a position and how to look for some of these things, right? I guess the first thing what I'm going to talk about is FTX, because FTX was on the weekly watch list, and I want to point this one out the most, okay? All right. So this is the way that I broke down the chart, all right? So resistance breakout entry right here, 231.30, okay? First target, 236.34. Second target is the top of 241, but you also want to take into consideration the psychological 240, okay? So 240 all the way to 241, nice dollar zone. Target 3 is going to be all the way to the top of this 249. As you can see, I'm using the 4-hour candle. I know some of you guys are probably looking at there's a gap, Chef, and why don't you look at the gaps? Let me tell you something about the gap. The gap is a missing price action, okay? So again, if you were to go buy a book at Barnes & Noble, a brand new one, wouldn't you be pissed off that it's missing a page from the book? Because technically you're missing something from that book that you paid for, right? If you're not mad about having a missing page on the book and you just paid top dollar for it, then I don't know what to tell you, right? But again, if you buy a brand new book and it shows every single page, you're going to fully understand the full book without questioning what could have been in the middle because you missed a missing page, right? It was ripped out for some reason. So it's the same with the daily. If you have the daily time frame and you have a huge gap, you technically have a missing page of price action. Okay, price action is something that's happened in the past that will most likely happen in the future. In this case, I want to know the details and I want to know where we stalled. I want to know where my targets are going to be. If you're having a gap fill, you technically have no target in between. All you have is from point A all the way to point B, which it shouldn't be that way. There's always going to be a stop in between. There's always going to be people taking profits. There's always going to be more scaling out of positions. And how do you figure that out? Use the 4-hour. The 4-hour time frame is what's going to give you all the details. And this is how I was able to find these targets. Maybe you're wondering, well, over 235, we can go straight up and gap fill. Well, how are we supposed to create a staircase pattern to the top if we don't have structure on the left side? We have to have that structure in order to build into a position with targets. It's like looking at an all-time high ticker where if you're breaking all-time highs, you really don't have a target besides whole numbers. Psychologically, that's what you're thinking. In this case, we need that missing page. We need that price action. We need those bases to create targets and to be able to understand where we're going to scale out, take profit, get back in, pull back, etc. Okay, so that's how you build into a position. So with FDX, we legit just came all the way down with a nice structure. We broke base, we staircase down, we dropped down for earnings, and we base down at the bottom. Okay, this is what I want to point out. All right, this is the beginning stages of building a position. So a lot of you guys already seen these charts because I posted it in the Chef Bot. If you guys don't know, the Chef Bot is actually in about 10 different servers, going on to 11 and 12, I think 15 max. But that's where I post a lot of these watch list tickers. If you're not in conservative collectors, you're definitely not seeing what's being posted. So with FDX, right? We know that it's downtrending on the 4-hour. We know it's downtrending on all kinds of time frames, right? 5-minute, 1 minute, 30-second chart, whatever time frame you have, we are downtrending. You can't take that away from it. So how do you build a position, right? Step 1, are we at a demand? Are we at a support? Step 2, do we have a pattern being created? Do we have a pattern breaking out? Do we have a pattern something? Okay. Step 3, do we have any news catalyst? Do we have the whole sector in general at a good position? Okay. So remember those steps. All right. Step 1, where are we? Are we at a support or at a resistance? Okay. Step 2, do we have a pattern formation? Step 3, where is the rest of the sector? And catalyst, okay? And catalyst. Do we have any catalyst that can drive it up? All right, so in this case, what we have with FTX, we have a nice curling bottom. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so we dropped down, we came down, and now we're curling back up. You see how we're curling back up and we're creating this nice little downtrend here? So let's go see what we have, all right? Step 1, do we have a support? Yes, we have a support. We actually created it right here. Do we have a base? Yes, we have a base. Do we have a pattern being created? Technically, yes, we have the rounding bottom. We have the curl up upwards type of play. Well, let's get in a little closer and let's see, right? Look at the nice trend line that we're holding now. Okay, we're holding a nice trend line. We did create this nice little base right here. Okay, and then we rolled up and then we broke above this resistance here. So technically we have no resistance, no major resistance until we get to these price points here and we start to trail. How do we start trailing? Like this. So potential to keep on going, right? Because technically what we want to see is we want to see this. We want to see a staircase pattern to the top, okay? Now, what I like about this when we're trailing to the top side is that there's a lot of probability that we can create inside patterns. The inside patterns are on the smaller time frames, okay? And you can create anything on here. Look at this, okay? Nice little base right here. We rally up and we continue its trend. So the trend on the smaller time frame, we're still holding value, we're still building, so you can technically still enter this position. All right. I entered FTX. I think it was Monday. I entered FTX. Yeah, Monday. Ended up taking profits here. Ended up getting back in for the swing on Tuesday. Ended up scaling out some more right here. Ended up getting right here on Thursday. Ended up taking profits around this level. Ended up buying some more calls right here on FTX. Ended up taking profits again today. And then again, another opportunity to enter FTX. So I've been trading FTX the past 4 days, okay? No excuse not to, because the position that we're building is we're building a nice swing play. We're building call plays all the way to the top as long as the market keeps on pushing up. Now, let me tell you another thing, right? The market, the sector was in my favor, right? Which other one do you think of? UPS. Let's look at UPS. Where was UPS here the past couple of days? Look at this Monday. Okay, so we had a nice support get built right here. Monday ended up rallying all the way to the top, so I was more than comfortable taking calls on FTX. And then next thing you know, right here today, it got called out, and then we're way up here. Okay, so we're technically over all this resistance already. We're over a lot of the price action that happened here. Everything that was real tight in here, where all the buyers were at, we ended up breaking. Look at this, same level, rally, base, rally. So now we're pushing into earnings, but we also have FTX that's catching up, right? FTX still has a lot of catching up to do. If we do get a nice sentiment for UPS earnings, I still think that FTX can continue to the top based on the sentiment alone, and not just on the sentiment alone, but due to the fact that we have a lot of room to the top side. So technically we are still on a downtrend, so you got to be careful when you're trading these. Use the pre-market levels, use the nice little trend line that's taking you up as a guide, as a tool to help you trade this specific staircase pattern to the top. So please keep a lookout on FTX. understand that we're at this rounding bottom and we have potential to keep on pushing to the top side. Lots of room to the top, guys. We're at 230 levels. At one point, we're at 300 and 320. So definitely tons of room to the top side, guys. So I'm going to be trading FDX for the next few weeks. There's a lot of risk to reward here, meaning there's a lot more risk. There's a lot more reward versus risk. The risk is very minimal compared to the reward to the top side. So keep that in mind, all right? So building into the position, giving you the few steps, and then we're gonna give you one more ticker that I'm actually starting to head into, right? So this is perfect because this is not fully developed yet. What's happening with DAL is that it's being developed for a build a position type of play. Most of you don't know how to swing trade. Some of you do. If you do, great. If you don't, well, this is a perfect example for you. Again, first of all, I like to look at the 4 hour, what's going on in the 4 hour time frames, right? First of all, remember first question, where are we? Are we at a support? Are we at resistance, right? Technically, what we have here for DAL is we want to look for the meat of the bone, right? Where the structure is at. Where are the buyers taking control of this position? Where do they see value the most? Okay. Now, when it comes to structure, you want a lot of candle bodies together. Okay. You don't want a lot of wicks. You want candle bodies. All right. So let's look. All right. I'm gonna go right here. Okay. Look at this piece right here. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna draw these trend lines right here. And I'm gonna show you how to chart these bad boys out. Okay. So the main thing that I'm grabbing here is the meat of the bone where all the candle bodies are at. Okay. Now I'm going to delete that yellow box. And what we have here is the wicks on the bottom. So every time we came below, we just got snapped back inside, snapped back inside. And then right here, we just blasted through and we created this huge uptrend. Okay. So what is price action? Price action is something that's happened in the past. What happened here in the past? Okay. The answer is it got bought up. Price action, it's happened in the past. That most likely will happen in the future. And that is how we determine our judgments. The judgment is created, is based on something that's happened in the past. Therefore, we take that position, whether it's calls or puts. What happened here in the past can potentially happen in the future. You see? So now that I see a potential here, I want to start building into this position. So how do we build into this position? Okay. Remember, 1, we're at a demand. Okay. 2, do we have a pattern? Okay, let's check. Do we have a pattern? Yes, a nice falling wedge. Okay. And we're heading into a demand on a bigger time frame. Okay. So again, doesn't matter what the little baby time frames tell you. Okay, it matters what the big time frame gives you now, because now the big time frame is giving you a pattern and it's giving you more strength because we're adding demand. Technically, a falling wedge should break to the top side. It doesn't have to. This is what you have to understand, everyone, as a trader. I don't care if it's a bull flag, a descending triangle, a bear flag, whatever flag. Charts, patterns, they can do whatever the heck they want, with or without you. If you're there, they'll do it. If you're not, they'll do it anyway. So remember that a pattern will do whatever the heck it wants. Can we be a little biased when it's a bull flag? Yes. Can we be a little biased when it's a bear flag? Yes. But understand that if it doesn't go our way, we have to cut loss. All right? Very simple. All right. So now that I got that out the way, okay? Remember that falling wedge into demand, okay? That's 2. Now, where is everything else? Let's go take a look, all right? I got these tickers that we're gonna look, and it's gonna be very simple. It's either gonna be at support or it's gonna be at resistance, one of the two. All right, check out AAL. It's the first one that we checked out. Do we have a pattern? Technically, we kind of do. Okay. Are we at a support? Are we holding a support? Yes. If I zoom out, we're holding all this support. Okay. Check this out. Let me get in closer. Look at the nice support that we're holding. We're bouncing up and we're probably going to break this trend line. UAL. Let's check out UAL. Where are we? Technically, this is a nice downtrend right here. Okay. So no specific trend line hit. But are we at a support? Well, let's look. Look at this nice support that we have right there. See the support right here? This is your support. This is the break below. This is your base down here. So technically we're at a support. LUV. Where are we with LUV? We're at the bottom of the barrel. Right here. Look at this. Heading into support with earnings that pretty much rocked its world. So we're downtrending, but we're heading into a support. Okay. SAVE. I mean, technically this gave up a lot of gains, but this doesn't look too horrible. We're definitely could consider this a nice little support right here. Other than that, we don't have much. So SAVE is probably the most horrible one right now. But DAL, AAL, UAL, and LUV, all of them at support. Let's check out JETS. It's ETF. Looks very similar to DAL, right? Yep. All this piece right here. Boom, that piece right there, and then this bottom would be the bottom of that that whole base. Okay. Just to extend it, just at the levels that we're at, just so you can visually see what JETS is doing. So JETS is at a great spot as well, and you can start looking to build and take position for any of those airlines, right? I personally am still in airline leaps. I have no reason to sell yet, just because they're till 2023. All right. So if you guys are not in airlines, well, I don't know what to tell you. You probably don't see value in it, but I do. So I just gave you step 3, where everything is basically pointing at a support and you're able to build into a position. I guess the next question would be, well, what kind of contract would you be grabbing? It totally depends on you and your portfolio and your emotional balance. Okay. But let's go to the trade tab just to look at a few options, right? Today we're on the, today's 21st, as you can see here, and tomorrow's 22nd. So technically this one is out the picture. So we have 1, 2, 3 weeks, all right? The 3 weeks, 41 calls, they're only at $1. The 40 calls are about 150. So you're spending $150 to build into a position. Can you build into a position at 150 bucks? If you were to lose 150 bucks, is that a lot? If the answer is yes, then you shouldn't be in it. If the answer is no, then start building a position, okay? You start building into position because you know that it has potential to keep on driving up. So a falling wedge, the target for this is basically the top. So it's that first target 42.30. Okay. If this breaks to the top side, that's the target that's going to be in the next like 2 to 3 days, potentially in 1 day, depending on how big the move is. Because if we for some miraculous reason get a catalyst and somebody comes and upgrades DAO, or somebody says, hey, you know, airlines are making tons of money. It's like the holiday weekend is bringing in a lot more people in, so they're making tons of revenue. This thing can legit just pump up. So it can be any type of news like that. And again, it doesn't have to be any type of news like that, but it can be an economical news. It can be something that can drive just the airline sector or just the market in general, which can create a nice reason for you to take this long. So building into position, you go ×1 contract. The minute that we start driving to the top and breaking some of these levels to the top, you start adding into your position, right? So in this case, if we were to break this little piece right here, Okay, and all I'm doing is I'm grabbing the structures, right? Because I entered right here at the bottom, called out right here at 40 level as well. And over that 40, 70 area, what you do is you add one more contract. Boom, right? The minute we hit up here, you start to scale out that one contract. So you're technically averaged in at this point right here. The minute we come down, pull back, and then break above again, you take another contract. The minute we hit this point here, the target, you scale out of your contract. So technically your average is way up here. So you're kind of inside here. So you're letting the play out, and you're building into that position to create a nice swing trade. All right. So giving you something that can potentially lead into some value for you guys. And again, buying contracts that are close to in the money, 40 to 41 calls in this case. And with time, you want to go 3 weeks, you want to grab a monthly contract, totally up to you. You want to grab a 2-month contract, totally up to you. You want to buy some shares, buy some shares. If it's much easier and less, of an emotional imbalance within your life, because you don't want to have stress in your life. You want to be able to trade stress-free. And that's the whole goal and purpose to becoming self-sufficient, right? So remember that, guys. I gave you a few steps here that you should be looking out for. Go back and review the whole video and, learn to build into some of these positions. These positions are not quite ready to start going long on, but you can determine where the demand is going to be. And once you determine the demand, and once you can determine the pattern and identify, a good catalyst, the breakout of the pattern, the rejection of the pattern, the bounce at a demand, the rejection at a resistance, whatever it is, then you're able to build into a position that's going to give you a better profit on the swing trade. And it's going to be stress-free because you don't got to worry about those little baby time frames that tell you to cut loss on a big red candle. So keep in mind, guys, I really hope that this helps you. DAL is in play. I do have a position for, let me just tell you, I got November 5th and November 12th. I have 41 and 40 calls, so they're not bad. Okay, these are only like 70 bucks. So 2 of those, like 140 bucks, maybe 150. So it's not bad. Plus the November 12th, the 41s, they're only about $1. And then the 40, they're only $1.50. So depending on how many you grab, totally up to you. But I'm gonna watch this thing in the next few days, next few weeks, potentially, depending on if this thing even pops tomorrow or if it just breaks into next week. But DAL and FDX are positions that I'm building into. These are the positions that I'm going to be looking forward to keep on trading in the next couple of weeks. So please look out for these, guys. Don't miss out on these. Don't hesitate to go long on this because we have a lot of room to the top side. FDX and DAL, a lot of the airlines are in great spots right now. So again, it doesn't have to go our way. It can definitely keep on dropping. FDX can fully reject and come way back down to this 220 if it wanted to. Remember, don't get biased. Just try to understand what's happening on the bigger timeframes versus trying to panic sell or FOMO buy on the smaller timeframes. So be wise, manage your risk properly. Don't go too heavy. Go light, ×1 contract, free up some of your cash so you're able to day trade other setups that present themselves during the day. And maybe any news catalyst pump that you can, scalp in between. I know some of you guys probably traded pins or PayPal to the downside, just anything in general. Some of you guys gamble earnings. So whatever it is, make sure you have open cash positions to be able to take positions. And then, so hopefully this helps you guys understand how to build into a position. I really want to help you guys to understand what it is to start buying contracts and buying calls and buying dips versus trying to buy a breakout. But either way, each trade is different. Each trade has its own characteristics, and each trade will give you a different amount of profits. But at the end of the day, the goal is to understand why you took that trade, why you're taking that trade, and why you're building into the trade. So, good luck, guys. I hope these videos help you guys. Please like and subscribe to the Conservative Collectors YouTube channel. we definitely want to keep on providing some more value. So again, let us know in the comments how much more detailed we can get, or just DM us. And definitely a lot of mentorships offered, a lot of classes being offered by Troy and Jack, and a lot of the guys in the servers. So, please take advantage, join the server, get some of those call outs that are being called out, some of those plays and some of the breakdowns, equities, with iFund stuff up. He's a pretty cool dude. So man, it's just a lot of value in conservative collectors. So please, guys, take advantage, and I hope to see you guys in those chats. So yeah, stay green, guys, and look out for the next video, weekly watch list on Sunday. So hopefully you guys are ready. Definitely PayPal, MU, and airlines are going to be on it for next week. So we'll see. All right, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and don't go too crazy on ODTE Friday tomorrow.